working as a Uber and Lyft driver, forced to work in conditions that were humiliating, degrading, and alienating and isolating, I realized that something was wrong, and that the reason why I was in this position was because we had a system where profits were put forward before people, where capitalism has continued to do what it's very good at, which is producing extreme amounts of wealth at the top and extreme amounts of poverty for the mass of people at the bottom. I am running for this seat to return it back to the people, to ensure that we can have a politics where it is driven by the community rather than the corporations. I graduated from college, was trying to find a job that would allow me to be present with my wife, who was giving birth to my oldest daughter. So I needed to find ways to make money, and working as a home health aide wasn't cutting it. So I had to get a second job. Driving taxi was supposed to be something that I could make the money I needed to have, but also be more present. The working conditions were, to put it simply, rough. As I went into 2017 and beyond, the wages that I would make were reduced more and more. And I found myself having to drive longer and longer and longer to make ends meet. I would see drivers sleeping in their cars at the airports, trying to leave their apps open so they can catch people come in and catch the ping, but they could still get a bit of sleep. At the very beginning, when I first started driving in 2016, it was really difficult to use the bathroom. You had to either hold it for very long, or you had to, in embarrassing fashion, get creative for how you're going to use the bathroom. I began organizing with other drivers when I saw a sign on a porta potty that appeared at the airport one day that had definitely not been there the week before. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. When did this come here? And on the sign was a fact that this was the beginning of changes in making more bathrooms more accessible for drivers. There was a nonprofit / organization that was looking to become a union for drivers that was looking to do more of that. Once I heard about that, I was like, yo, I gotta jump in on this. This is really important. And from there, I started getting more integrated with some of the fights that were being had. We didn't really need Uber and Lyft. All they offered was a platform. And if all we needed was an app, well, drivers could get their own app. So we launched the Drivers Cooperative in the midst of the pandemic and started our organizing drive towards the end of that to get to where we are right now, which is a cooperative owned by drivers, the largest worker cooperative in the country with nearly 7,000 members. By running for this seat, I would be able to build this organizing that we had been doing in our communities to the next level, because at the end of the day, it's power that makes these decisions. And all power is organized money or organized people. Much of the issues that we had been experiencing was a result of corporations who had been able to organize their money at the expense of working people in this community, across the city, across the state, across this country. We haven't seen change because largely in New York City politics, many of the legislators that we've had here have been in there for a very long time. They have demonstrated that they are not willing to make the big changes, but have tinkered around the edges on many of these issues, which is insufficient. There has not been any major change on the gig economy, which has bursted here, not only within the rideshare industry, but also with Airbnb, the house rental market, delivery workers. While we have seen some progress, Kevin Parker still does not remain an ally of those efforts and continues to be promoted by Con Edison, National Grid, the Real Estate Board of New York, the crypto industry, which is very much anti-labor, by the casino lobby. You begin to see someone that not only has not really been a champion on any real labor issues, also his biggest contributors are all those industries that are real enemies of labor. I am very excited to continue this organizing in the halls of power to ensure we can continue the fight that has been happening for generations and put an end to some of this exploitation that we've seen for way too long.